right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to EduMatch. So follow along with us using the hashtag EduMatch on Twitter. You can also watch us live on YouTube, on Periscope, and if you're in this room on Zoom as well. All right. So definitely wanted to welcome all of you here. So follow along with us using the hashtag EduMatch. And speaking of EduMatch, just go to our website, edumatch.org, and then hover over Get Connected, find the Person of the Day form and fill that out. It's going to be a little bit of a wait, but good things come to those who wait. So just sit around and we will tag you with any matches that come up, as well as tweet out your blog post if it has an RSS feed that can be found. Excuse me. All right. So just wanted to thank everybody again for EdCamp EduMatch yesterday. It was such a great event, and we're going to actually, at the end of today's episode, come back with the list of winners of our prizes. So we're going to raffle those off. Wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone who was on our last panel about technology integration versus technology use. So just like last episode, we want to encourage y'all to weigh in as well. So do so, please, in the comments on Twitter, on YouTube, as well as in the Flipgrid. So we'll be dropping that link at some point today. So just going to go ahead and introduce the panel. So we'll start first with Dean.
Hey, everybody. My name is Dean Gainey from the beautiful city of Orlando, Florida, where it is currently sunny. I teach ELA for grades 4 and 5, as well as a tech class and a gifted and talented class for the same grade level. And definitely happy to be here to talk about authors and what we do and all that wonderful other stuff.
Awesome. And glad to have you back. So thank you for joining us. And last but certainly not least, we have Leslie.
Hi, I am Leslie Fagan. I am currently an instructional technology coach in Griffin, Georgia. Griffin is about 45 minutes south of the thriving metropolis of Atlanta. I formerly was an English teacher, and in my current role, I provide technology support, not the fixing the computer side, but teaching the teachers how to use the technology to all of the secondary school teachers in our district, which is probably the best job in the world to have. And I am very thankful that I'm beginning my 4th year in my current position.
Awesome. Well, I am so glad to have both of you here. It is so good to have both of you here. So yeah, and both of you are slaying it. It's a book and publishing a blog or a podcast. So what do you guys say?
I've messed around with doing a blog for a number of years. I used to have a blog that I let just a couple of people read, where I was just, expressing my thoughts on current events, whatever was going on at my school. That didn't work out so well for me, so I stopped doing that. And then I was blogging as a teacher. That was okay. But then I decided that when I became an instructional technology coach, that really I should be blogging so that I could share what was going on with other teachers. I'll be the first to admit it is hard to commit to doing a blog because so many other things get in the way. And although there is a reminder on my calendar for every single Monday, all 52 weeks out of the year, if you look at my blog at missfagan.com, there are not 52 blogs because things just come up. Being an author, when you are collaborating with, and I think there were 20 of us who did the initial EduMatch book, there are other people counting on you. And although there are people who they read the blog, nobody ever sent me a message and said, "Hey, Leslie, what's up? I haven't seen a blog in 6 months." But when you're writing a book with other people and you have a phenomenal publisher sending you email messages and Voxer messages, "Hey guys, just checking in, what's going on?" You have to follow through with that commitment. And also, to me, there's more of a personal satisfaction with, now I can go to missfagan.com anytime and see what's on my blog. But when I go to amazon.com and I see my author page or I see this book, that to me is just like no other feeling in the world. So there's this one, I've collaborated with other people. 2, there's this greater sense of accountability, and 3, there is a tangible product that other people have in their hands. So to me, those are the biggest differences between just being an occasional blogger, or even for that matter, a regular blogger, and a published author. You're still writing, but you just get a different sense of purpose and accomplishment when you're actually writing a book. That's how I feel. Other people may say, but I'm publishing my blog. Yeah, I publish my blog, but my blog isn't on Amazon, and Amazon is legit. So, that's where I am. Let's see what Dean has to say.
Well, as one of those contributing authors in the Edge Match book last year as well, I have to tell you, I look at a blog as being primarily more, at least initially, for me. It helped me to be able to put my thought process down on paper. It helped me to sort of document things as I was going through and experiencing them. I think it's a fresh reality from my own perspective. I blogged about the ISTE conference when I came back from ISTE, but I did it in a book creator form. So I used Book Creator, but then I put it in my blog, and I thought, well, this is a great way to capture my experience in a way that not only I understood, but could be understood by other people, but it let me put my thoughts down on paper. So I think of a blog as that way primarily, but I could also see that the thoughts that you put inside of a blog could eventually become something bigger. You can pull information from there and expand upon it and use that for the purpose of writing and publishing a book if you so chose to do it. I think the reach, REACH, the reach in a blog versus a book. I do have people that subscribe to my blog, not a whole lot of them. And I think, if you want to have something that you put out there for people that are interested in reading it, to read it, that's a great space to do it in as far as a blog. The book it's totally, your reach is expanded. It's out there, not just for maybe a immediate audience that you planned, but the greater population, wherever, or whether it be on Amazon, like Leslie said, or whether it be in the bookstores around the country or around the globe. Your audience is larger. You have an ability to reach more people when you actually publish, and I think both have their purposes. I know that I am working on something right now that started completely in my blog. The entire thing started at my blog, but has turned into this amazing capture of a philosophical approach to why I am who I am, and talking about experiences and such. So I think one can definitely lead to the other one.
Absolutely. So they can there can be a marriage between the two. So that's cool. That is very, very cool. And I wanted to give a shout out to Miss Class in Session, who's saying on the comments on YouTube Live, I think publishing a book requires more thought, commitment, and polishing. And I can say right now, like I do scrutinize all of my blog posts, but with a book that takes it to a whole new level. So that is just insanity in terms of the amount of just going back over it and back over it and back over it. So absolutely, could definitely second that. So the second question just dropped on Twitter. So perfect timing. So in your opinion, did y'all find that it was easy or difficult to publish in a book, and what contributed to this ease or lack thereof? So either one of you who wants to jump in on this. Dean.
I'm going to say I'm going to answer it both ways. I think it can be very easy to write a book when you are living that book, or when you are living through that passion, through that knowledge that you're gaining, and you're just really, the fire is burning and you have thoughts to put down on paper. I think that's easy. It's easy for me to write about education because I'm teaching, or it's easy for me to write about technology because I'm using it. I can't write about the art of dentistry because I'm not in that realm. I'm not in that field. So I have nothing, absolutely zero to say about it. So in that regard, it's easy because I'm 115% in. But at the same time, it's difficult because not only are you writing to express your opinions, you're writing to express your opinions in a way that other people would be captivated by it and would easily be able to understand it. And so it's almost like you're telling a story, and you have to tell a story with others in mind. When I write, a blog, or when I write a poem, when I write a journal entry, I'm thinking, okay, I'm writing this for me per se. But when I'm writing a book, I'm writing it with the intent that somebody else is going to be able to pull something out of there that they can use in their practice or in their profession or in their personal lives. And so it has to be done in a certain way to be able to accomplish that. And so it could be difficult in that way, especially if you've never done it before. And so I think, it could be easy and it can be hard depending on the way you look at it. And so what contributes to that ease or lack thereof, I think, again, your sound knowledge, your knowledge. Like if you live education, you know it, you're in it, you're just there. So that makes it easy. But when you're outside of your comfort zone, when you're outside of your field of practice, I think that could, certainly make it a lack of ease if we're talking about it.
Right. Okay. So I'm digging that. So you have to be authentic. Yeah, definitely. What do you say, Leslie?
It is, although I knew what my chapter of the book was about, it's easier for me to write a blog post because my blog posts are usually in response to things that have happened to me or things that I would like to do. For instance, I wrote a post last week because it's, back to school time. Our kids go back to school on Wednesday. And a lot of the teachers that I started at my previous school with, they've all gone on to other things. Some are teaching still, and some are at other schools, and some have left the profession completely. And I'm going to share something with just the two of you, not the whole internet world. I think that I'm an expert on everything. Okay. So I decided I would write a blog post on how administrators can do a better job of administrating and keeping teachers and appreciating teachers, because I think I don't know very many teachers who leave the profession because of the money. They leave because they're not recognized. They leave because they're overworked. They leave for a variety of reasons. So I wrote a blog post about that. Well, then last week, and I'm going to give a shout out to myself just because, again, I'm an expert on everything. And I also like to pat myself on the back periodically. I went to the Google Innovator Academy in DC last week, got home about midnight Friday night, and had to get the little one in bed and lots of things. So there are 3 blog posts that are in my head that I want to write about the experience. So to me, when I get an idea, I jot it down on Google Keep, and when I have an opportunity, I write about it. The book that I'm planning on writing, that's supposed to be out it will be out next year. I have an opinion about a lot of it, but I'm going to have to do research to back up my opinion. So that's not quite as easy as, why do teachers leave the profession? What's my innovator project about? I don't remember all of my blog posts, but those things are just easy for me because that's my life. My next book topic, some of it's my life, but a lot of it is about the experiences that people of color have had in education as well as in politics. And I can't speak for the masses on that subject. So I think for me, the blog post definitely easier because well, actually last week when I wrote that blog post, I was angry. I got that one done in 15 minutes. When I'm mad, I can write. So I did it then.
Totally hear you, and I can relate to that. Like when I'm fired up, then it's just like brrr, like fingers are flying. So it's insanity. So absolutely,
I will third that too, because I don't know why it is, but when you get upset, it's like it's fuel in that vehicle. It just makes it go 90 miles an hour. So I'm glad you said that for sure.
Absolutely. That passion piece, like bringing that passion into it. Absolutely. All right. So some comments coming through on our YouTube live. So, about writing is best when it is a pure experience. Absolutely. So, can definitely get with that. And lots of great comments coming through on the YouTube. So we have one more question for y'all. So this one's kind of a doozy. Why do you think that more people do not publish books? And what resources or tips would you give to someone who wanted to start? So, would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, at first thought, I think it's work. It is not an easy task to publish a book because there's so many different phases. I mean, you just think about the writing process in and of itself. You have to start out with that idea. And so I think a lot of people are, maybe they get stuck right there. Like, what do I know well enough to be able to write? Or I'm not an expert on the topic, or I don't have anything to say about this. And so I think some might get stuck at that particular process. You think about drafting, you think about the revising and editing stages that could take, from months to even years to accomplish. And you may never even get to the publishing stage where it's in print. And by that time, you might be so exhausted from the process that you don't you don't even care about the product anymore. But I think that's the primary reason. It's a lot of work and effort. But I think that you have to know that you have a voice, and you have something to say. So partly, do I have something worth publishing? Um, as far as why more people don't do it. As far as like wanting to start or getting that ball rolling, I think I work in the ELA classroom in a grade 4 and 5 setting, and so my focus is a lot on ELA. It's what I do every day. Technology is 3 days a week. Gifted and talented 1 day a week. So you think about just the sheer amount of time I spend. I spend most of that in the ELA classroom. So perhaps there's something within the realm of where I spend most of my time developing that content knowledge. I'm developing that ability to know more, to be able to maybe have something to say about it, because I spend most of my time researching that and developing content that would be delivered to that group of students. So I think focus on where you are, your drive to be where you are. There's definitely much that can be said about just your experience in your personal classroom that could be beneficial for someone else, whether that be a current teacher or somebody who's not even in the profession yet. This could actually help you when you become a teacher, if you can put that out there on paper in that way. I'm going to let Leslie have the floor. I might come back with something else, but let's see what Leslie has to say about that.
I think that some people don't write. I've spoken to a lot of people who said, "Oh, I'd love to write a book, but what if nobody reads it?" But when I write my blog post, I used to look at the stats every day. Oh my gosh, nobody's reading it. Nobody's reading it. Nobody's reading it. Don't write for other people. Write for yourself. And to me, the absolute best feeling in the world was when I got this book in the mail and saw my name on it. I don't know how many people have read the book. I don't care. This is something, it was on my bucket list. And I said, I'm going to write a book. So I wrote a book. Don't worry about failing. Don't worry about who's going to read your book. Hey, yeah, we all have our book. Okay. This is awesome. Don't worry about all of those things. If you want to write a book, write a book. If you think you're going to fail, get a buddy to write with you. It's great to succeed together, but to me, there is also something about failing with somebody else because you've got somebody else who understands what you're going through. I think part of what pushed me with our process, there were some times and I was like, you know what, I just need to send Sarah a message and say, I can't do this. But because there are so many people involved, I didn't want to be the person to say, nope, I'm out. So there's that sense of accountability where you're supporting each other. And our Voxer group, we would say, hey, what's going on? We were there for one another. We pushed each other. We commiserated with each other. And when the book was live, we celebrated together because we were all pretty doggone happy because it just started with an idea. So find somebody to write a book. Don't do it by yourself. If you're not ready, don't do it by yourself. Or if you want to do it by yourself, write a children's book. That's 12 pages. Anybody can write 12 pages. Write a children's book, find somebody to illustrate it. Now you are a published author. One of the things that I'm part of the ISTE EdTech Coaches Network, and we do blogging buddies. There's just a group of 5 of us, and we blog and we check in on each other every month. If you're going to write a book, find somebody else who's writing a book. And if you're not writing with them, check in on them. Hey, what's going on with your book? Do you need me to read? Do you need to bounce off any ideas? Get somebody else in there with you, because if you have somebody who's pushing you, you're accountable to them. You're not going to quit, because again, just like I didn't want to be the person to email Sarah and say, I can't write this chapter. You don't want to let yourself down, and you don't want to let your friends down or whomever it is that you're working with. So those are my suggestions. And also, I'm going to tell you, like I tell the kids who say, well, I'm thinking about going to school to study geology, but I really don't know if I should or not. Okay. How is your life going to be any different in 4 years if you don't? Either you're going to be a geologist or you're not. You want to write a book, either you're going to be a published author or you're not. Do it and see what happens. Who knows? You could end up on the New York Times bestsellers list. And although Oprah's not, on her show every week passing out books to everybody, she could put you on her TV show. Any number of things could happen. Just step out on faith and do it, because you don't really have anything to lose. Life is short. Enjoy it. Check off every item on your bucket list and keep adding things to it. That's what Leslie has to say.
And yes, starting is probably the hardest. Once you get started, it gets easier. And that would probably be another good tip or tool. Just write. And I think in writing, you figure out, you figure out, ooh, we'll have to write more about that. Or you come to an understanding of where your strengths are and what you really are passionate about, the more that you write, I think, or more that you're in that process. So it's a great opportunity to share your experiences, your voice with the world. So thanks, Leslie, and for that wonderful dialogue.
Wow, I love the conversation and the great tips. So thank you to everybody thank you first to both of you. So thank you, Dean. Thank you, Leslie. And thank you to everyone who is watching. I'm seeing the great dialogue going on YouTube and some great comments, also some great tweets. So thank you to everyone for that. All right. So this is just an amazing conversation, and definitely if you have that desire to write that book, then write that book. Just like Leslie and Dean were saying, just do it. Just get her done, like they say. I don't even know what state. I'm not even going to. Last time I tried to attribute that to a state, I got in trouble. So I'm just going to leave it alone. But anyway, so great to have this awesome conversation with y'all. So we're going to switch gears for a second. You probably know that yesterday was EdCamp EduMatch. So we had some great learning going on. And we also had some great prizes going on. So we're going to go ahead and raffle them off, actually. So we have here a list of our participants. So going to go ahead and, okay, here we go. So going to see who wins which prize. So we have our wonderful list of prizes down here. So we're going to do our random name picker. So let me just get my my sheets ready to rock and roll. So we're just going to go right down the line, do this as quickly as possible. So first one for atomic learning. Here we go. So this will be, I'll come back in later and add the names where they go. So Lizette, congrats. All right. Next up, another atomic learning. We have Michael. Congrats, Michael. All right. And I believe we have one more atomic learning, which will go to Cassie. Woo, Cassie, yay. All right. So those are the 3 atomic learning ones. Next, we have 3 gift certificates to coveted Flipgrid. So let's see who gets these. These are 1-year subscriptions. So first person, we have Keegan. Congrats, Keegan. Second subscription, we have, this is so exciting, isn't it? Seeing the wheel go round and round. All right, Susie. Yes, Susie. The third one will be going to Vanessa, congrats. No relation. All right, so next we have 3 live binders upgrades. So those will go to, let's see, Dave Week, yay! Another live binder subscription goes to Jamie Donnelly, yay! All right, we have one more, which will go over to Irene Amelia, congrats. All right, fantastic. Next up, we have 2 Nepris prizes. So the first Nepris will go to Phaedra Bird, congrats. Second Nepris will go to let's see here, to Tori. Cool. So we're about halfway down. So sign up. So everyone will get a premium upgrade to sign up if you have joined us yesterday. And the $25 Target gift card will go to, drum roll. Oh, Bonnie. Bonnie was just on with us last time. So congrats, Bonnie. Cool. Next, we have Tech for Learning, a Wixie subscription. And that will go to all right, Katie. Next up, we have TechSmith, 2 TechSmith. So the first one, Snagit license, goes to Caitlin. Congrats, Caitlin. And the second one will go to Nicolette. Yay! All right. Now we have the Weird Teacher ebook as well as the Teaching Texture Welcome. So the Weird Teacher ebook goes to Dan Kreines. Congrats, Dan. And the Teaching Texture Welcome will go to Fabiana. Congrats, Fabiana. All right. So next we have 2 spelling cities and 2 science for you. So the spelling cities will go to number 1 will be Turborg. And number 2 will be Dr. D. Congrats, Dr. D. All right. Next up, we have the 2 science for you. So the first one goes to Nancy Swanson. Congrats. And the second one will go to Amanda Rogers. Yay! Congrats. All right. We have What Connected Educators Do Differently, 1 ebook. And that goes to Matt Fratt. Congrats, Matt. Also repping the WDC 17 with Leslie. Yay. All right. So now we are down to our 5 Right About This and 5 RightAbout.com subscriptions. So the Right About This, let me see. Do we have 10 left on the wheel? Okay. So Lucia, let's see. And then let's just count in the interest of time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. So we have like 12. So, but don't worry, everybody's going to get something. Okay. Francisco, congrats. 3 more. All right. We have Kelly. Congrats, Kelly. We have Regina Schaefer. Congrats, Regina. And 1 more. The last one for the Right About This subscription will be Tawana Giles. Congrats. And now for our last 5 prizes. And don't worry, if your name does not get called, we still have something for you. All right. So we have Ralph. Congrats, Ralph. 4 more. Carissa. Congrats, Carissa. 3 more. Dr. Teresa, congratulations. And then we have 2 more. Last 2. Here we go. Erin, yay! And the last one is Miss Renee Science. Congrats. And then we also have Journey 6216. Guess what? You and Stephanie Jacobs, you both win an EduMatch snapshot in education featuring Dean and Leslie and me. So everyone's a winner at EdCamp EduMatch. So congratulations to all our winners. Really, really, really loved learning with all of you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, come back on and bid you all adieu. So thank you again to Leslie. Thank you to Dean. Thank you to everyone who was watching with us, commenting, sharing out your learning. Love it, love it, love it. Don't forget to hit up our Flipgrid. I'll drop the link one more time in Twitter as well as on the YouTube Live. The transcript of this will be available in just a couple minutes. And this audio will be available as a podcast within the next few weeks, either on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your Hangouts. So next week, actually on Tuesday, we're going to be talking with Callie Womble. So she has a very, very cool program called The Scholar Life. So we're going to be diving into that on Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern time. And next Sunday, we're going to be talking personalized PD with moderator Dr. Randall Sampson. So definitely tune in for that. It's going to be amazing. So anyone can be a panelist. Just sign up at podcasts.edumatch.org/sign up. In addition, Peep the Ed Squad, keeping you informed of all of the free professional learning that you can do in your PJs. And if you like the show, then leave us a nice comment on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever. So everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for listening and growing with us.